I just wanted to make a note of this because this is like either back to back or no, not back to back, but over like a couple of weeks, we've had basketball legends passing away. Jerry West, the logo, dies at 86. Obviously, one of the most iconic basketball players of all time. You know what? Let's do a little bit of a Jerry West stat breakdown because obviously, not only was he a great player, he was also a great GM, one of the architects of the Lakers there. But I mean, look, okay, when I just give you just the resume of things that he's done, this might take a long time. Bear with me. 14-time All Star, 1969, 1970 NBA scoring champ, 1971, 1972 assist champ, 1972 NBA champion, 12-time All NBA, 5-time All Defensive, 1968, 1969 Finals MVP, 1971, 1972 All Star MVP, NBA 75th anniversary team, and then obviously in the Hall of Fame. He multiple time or a few times he led the league. Obviously, we already talked about the score. He didn't have a year where he was not an all-star. Now, I understand it was the 60s and the early 70s. I understand. Very different. Game was different. Competition was different. I understand. But from just a pure volume standpoint, the guy averaged 27 points a game in an era where you didn't have the three-point line. I'm not like that. That's absurd. Like it's hard enough to average 27 points now when three-point shooting is, so prevalent, right? And he was doing it before that was even an option. And then obviously he wins just the one championship with the Lakers as a player. But I mean, honestly, some of these numbers are obscene. In 1964, he led the playoffs in points with 40 points. 40 points a game he was dropping over in 42 minutes played. Guy was dropping a point a minute in a league that didn't have a three-point line. I'm just saying. Okay? It's absurd. It's absurd. But I wanted to also bring up Jerry West as the general manager. GM career. He led the team to 8 championships. Let's see. I believe he was. Yeah, here we are. He was the general manager for basically 2 separate dominant eras for the Lakers. Obviously, I think people my age associate him with the Shaq, the Kobe Lakers. But before that, he was the architect of the Showtime Lakers, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I could go on and on about the Lakers, and obviously the Pistons beat them in '89, and I will never let them live that down. But either way, 3 times. Let's see. We made it to the finals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, that's insane. I mean, he had a winning record at the end of his tenure. He was also apparently the GM of the Memphis Grizzlies. Didn't do much with them, but he was the GM of the Memphis Grizzlies for a short period of time. I didn't actually know that. This is my live reaction to that information. Okay. He was the executive of the year a couple of years. He was the executive of the year for the Grizzlies. And I guess they went 50 and 32. But they didn't win a game in the playoffs. That's rough. Who was on that team? Oh, look at that old logo. So good. So good. Oh, Pau Gasol. Okay. Pau Gasol. Yeah, that's all I know. That's all I know from this route. Wasn't a huge Memphis Grizzly fan as a kid. But I want to say we had their pick, and that was the Darko pick. So that's fun. But look, one of the all-time greats just seemed like I mean, obvious, I totally iconic figure. Like the logo of the league. I don't even know who the logo of the other leagues are. I don't know who is the guy on the MLB logo, if it's anybody. Or the guy, I don't know if they still use it, the guy in the NHL logo. I know they or the NHLPA logo. I don't think it was ever a guy on the NHL logo. But I don't know, like it's like you know that you're an iconic figure when people it's kind of like John Madden where like over, the decades and decades that John Madden or Jerry West were alive, you just had like you had different eras of how people associated with this particular person. Like for me, I look at Jerry West as the executive, the guy who brought in Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and all these other superstar players to the Lakers in the early 80s, or early to late 80s and then the 90s. And on the other side of it, you also have people earlier on who remember him as a player and the iconic champion that he was with the Lakers and just I mean, statistically, some of the crazy numbers he had. And then further, I guess you just have people who recognize him just as a logo. Like after he retired as a general manager in the early 2000s, he's just okay. He's just the logo. I mean, he was the logo before, but it's like he just was the logo. And it to me, like that just speaks to the level of spread that he had on the game. And it's a shame. I mean, back to back kind of losses for basketball legends, Bill Walton, and then we lost Bill Russell. I want to say that was I don't know if that was this year or if that was last year. Honestly, I don't even remember, but like just seems like we're losing a lot of really all-time great sports figures sort of left and right, I want to say. I mean, like John Madden was a couple of years ago. That one was really really tough. I was devastated by that. I wouldn't say devastated. I don't want to over exaggerate my level of sadness, but I was shocked. I guess you always assume some of these figures, the Jerry Wests, the Bill Waltons, the John Matt, you just sort of assume these figures are kind of immortal in a way, like they're always going to be around. But obviously, we know this is not the case. There's one death, taxes, and the piston sucking. Hold on, I might have gotten that wrong. But either way, just a salute to Jerry West and all of the things he did for the game of basketball, for the NBA. I'm not a Lakers fan, so I don't have that much of a attachment to him. I also didn't watch him. I'm not that old. Okay, I'm old at heart. I walk around with a cane and I yell at people outside for doing skateboarding. I do want to do that, but not because I'm a mean person. I just want to see what they would do if they would just continue to skate. It's like that guy isn't even that old. Why is he acting like he's 100 years old? And meanwhile, Ozzy Albies just hit a double there. That's probably going to score a run. Guys, I'm beginning to think the Tigers aren't very good. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I'm just beginning to think they're not very good. But that's a triple. Wow. Casey Mize, another number 1 overall pick wasted. Great job, Al. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.